All right, welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Monty and Murdy College Football Show. And it's going to be a little bit different for us today, all right? So Monty, he has some schedule obligations. He's not going to be able to get with us this week. So we got a guest filling in, Dayday.
Hello, how you doing?
Coming to talk a little ball with us this week, talk a little week 3 college football recap. So we're going to be that's basically what we're going to be doing, man. We're going to be breaking down last week's games for y'all, giving y'all a good estimate of it, and just everybody welcome Dayday to the show.
Thank you.
How are you,
a little
buddy?
nervous. A little nervous.
A little nervous.
Yeah. I watch football, but we'll
talking about it's a different thing, man. It really tests you in the weeds here. So, you ready to go ahead and dive in?
Let's do it, brother.
All right. So, we're going to start off with the exact game that I know Monty would want us to start with, right? We got UGA at Tennessee. Number three Georgia escapes with a 44-41 overtime win in Neyland. Just a heartbreaker for the Vols after they jumped out on them 21-7 in the first quarter, and they missed the game-winning field goal, and it ended up going to overtime. Georgia escapes with a win there. It's really tough there for Tennessee. I think Tennessee played very well in this game. They matched up with Georgia. They get a couple of the keys to the game that Monty gave us, man. He said the Vols need to start fast, and they did. They jumped out on Georgia, like I said, 21-7 at the end of the first quarter. Georgia kind of rallied through the middle 2 quarters, scoring 20 points to Tennessee 7, setting us up for a fantastic fourth quarter. And this one, man, it's a game of the year candidate to this point. We had 2 of them this weekend, which we'll touch on the second one here in a little bit.
I can agree with that.
So, what are your thoughts, man? Did you have anything on this game? Anything that jumped out to you?
Man, when I was watching him miss that field goal, my heart sank with Tennessee. I was like, oh, it's over. Yeah.
It's a breaker, dude. It's tough.
Yeah.
Emotionally going into overtime that way with that kind of emotional heartbreaker rolling into overtime. It's tough to kind of rally the troops and get going, especially with Tennessee striking or having to have the first chance on offense there in the overtime.
When he missed it, like I said, I didn't watch most of the game. I was busy at that time, but I came back to see the tail end of it. I always wondered, like, how did we get this close? Because I, in my mind, thought Tennessee could beat them. Like I said, I was going to place money on Tennessee to win, and it's just it breaks my heart that they lost. It really does, to know that they were out in front. Technically, he threw for 4 touchdowns, but he has 2 interceptions. I don't know at what point were those interceptions thrown, and did they capitalize off of it? It seemed like they had to. I mean,
they were kind of in like the middle portion of the game there. Tennessee's offense kind of hit a lull, mainly through the second quarter, then early into the third quarter. Just weren't kind of able to match the same energy that they were putting up in that first quarter, which, I mean, is tough to do, especially when you got UGA making adjustments. Kirby Smart, one of the best defensive minds in college football, adjusting, making in-game adjustments, and Georgia able to play through that there. I think Tennessee definitely missed some of their key defensive players. They have some out. Jermod McCoy, corner, he'd have been huge in this one, especially trying to, combat some of Georgia's wide receivers there. They're missing some players on the defensive line. But overall, I don't think this isn't a heartbreaker loss, for the season for Tennessee.
If we're going to talk about Tennessee's quarterback, though, they went from the dude that's at UCLA now, and he's not making too much noise from what I've been reading. But they got this guy, and he even runs the ball. He tucks it. He got 4 touchdowns. For him to come out and play like that, I think that's a thumbs up to them. Like, he has heart, in my opinion. He wasn't afraid of the moment.
That's a real winner there, Joey Aguilar.
Yeah.
Kind of probably, we don't have too many trades in college football, but it's the only one that really stands out. But it's probably the most lopsided trade in college football when you especially look at just kind of breaking news today, Nico head coach Deshaun Foster got fired from UCLA after their 0-3 start. So what is just the upgrade that Joey Aguilar has been, at least through this point of the season, being able to stretch the defense vertically. Nico was kind of notorious, man. He'd just miss on the long bombs and just kind of took that portion away from Tennessee where they weren't able to stretch the field on opponents, and they were having to play condensed coverages against their run game, which was obviously not beneficial to them. Gunnar Stockton.
Dude, they ran. I mean, if you consider the quarterback play, they ran the ball very well. Georgia did, like,
ran
very
the ball
well.
Great. Josh McCray, freshman running back, 120 plus yards. Yeah, I mean, Georgia, you got to look at just the overtime. The overtime portion of this game is really what stands out to me in regards to how well Georgia was able to run the ball. First play, I think it was either the first or second handoff there in overtime, runs it up, gets it about from the 4-yard line out, then 2-3 more handoffs. I think it was actually 2 more handoffs, and Georgia was in the end zone.
Sorry, I'm having a little thing. This is first day, guys.
First day.
First day.
Still working through it.
Yeah, things are just playing.
It goes perfectly.
So, but forgive me. There we go. First day jitters.
There we go. All right. So yeah. Overall, though, I think both of these teams really proved that they're going to be formidable contenders going forward in not only the SEC but also the college football playoff. I don't think this is going to be Tennessee's dead in the water. I think this is more or less they got a nod for.
What's their schedule? What's Tennessee's schedule for the rest of the year? Let's see.
I mean, it's an SEC schedule. It's tough.
It's tough.
It's going to be definitely a battle, but they got some easier games to roll into with, or at least, I mean, they looked easier probably in the preseason than they do now, especially the way Mississippi State's playing.
Mississippi just did the upset, and they played them week 5.
Yeah, and but they got a little off game here, UAB, Arkansas, before they got to go to Tuscaloosa. Then they get Kentucky. They got to play. They get OU at home. New Mexico State, followed by Florida and Vandy.
Okay.
So not the.
I mean,
not easy, but not the most difficult of schedules.
Not necessarily. I mean, Bama's like a coin flip now. I mean, just because they beat ULM doesn't mean anything. They played good this weekend, I guess. But
yeah, Bama
really, truly
beat Wisconsin. But
yeah, it was.
Everybody went from Ty Simpson after the Florida State game is Ty Simpson's just terrible. He can't play football, not to the quality. And then after they've beaten ULM and Wisconsin, now Ty Simpson they're calling for him to win the Heisman.
Oh, I don't agree with the Heisman. No way by Benjamins. But I mean, they got to continue to play and like I say, I'm a Bama fan. They got to continue to play. So, but I mean, yeah, poor Florida. Tennessee got Florida, and as of right now, we'll get into that later. I think that's game 3. Yeah, poor Florida.
Yeah, Florida's got they got a lot going on.
A lot going on.
A lot going on over there, Billy Napier and the Gators. But is there anything else about this Tennessee-Georgia game? I just think both these teams really proved themselves formidable. I know it kills Tennessee fans. It kills Vol Nation to let that one slip away because it's a game that you felt like you definitely had opportunities to win. Definitely were almost there to close it out, especially with the game-winning field goal well within range. It's not like it's a long one. It's not like a 50-yard plus. It's like it's within that expected to make range.
Yeah, hit the upright or something.
Yeah, do something, and it just missed it, man, and that's tough. I think anytime you see the kicker over there doing deep breathing exercises on the sideline, that's usually not a good sign going into it. But...
yeah, but I can't talk because that moment has to be probably bigger than what people understand.
Yeah, I think it's kickers kind of live or die in that moment right there.
Yeah, right? Like live or die. I just hope like next time if he gets this same moment, he achieves. He He has to. He got there already. Now the next time you get there, you have to come through in the clutch, whatever game that may be. You have to.
Yeah, or else not. You're gonna have
Yeah,
some
because
real question marks there.
quick question mark says like, is he our kicker?
Yeah.
Can we trust this guy in this?
That's when you need them, right? That's the only time kickers are the heroes to save the day, or they are the biggest flops. There's really no in between, right? It's either it goes through the uprights or it doesn't.
And then when Georgia came out in halftime and they ran that ball that first play, you could just see how Georgia's like, hey, we're the big dog, and they kind of took their soul, well, especially on that first run, because you just knew it was over.
Yeah, it.
He ran like 21 yards down the sideline, the left-hand sideline. You just knew, like, yeah, after that field goal miss, that deflated everybody.
But either way, I don't think we're in dire situation for either of these teams. Obviously not with Georgia still undefeated, still the king of the SEC until they get unseated, right? Tennessee, I think they're an improved team. I think they upgraded at least at the quarterback position, one of the most critical positions.
I think they're better. I think they're yeah. Tennessee is a good team.
So yeah, let's. You want to move on to the next game there?
Let's go, brother.
Let's go. All right. So, unfortunately, I predicted that one wrong. I predicted Tennessee winning. They end up slipping away again. Georgia beat them 44-41 in overtime in Neyland. But this one, I predicted right. Notre Dame was a 6.5-point favorite over Texas A&M. A&M ends up beating them in the final seconds of the fourth quarter, 41-40. And
that was amazing.
Man, that
game was amazing.
Here, dude. For teams that are supposed to be, head coaches are both oriented defensive guys. This game had a lot of offense. Marcus Freeman is supposed to be a defensive mind. Mike Elko, that's where he grew up, or that's how he came up as a defensive coordinator. Supposed to be a defensive guy, and offense is balled out for both of these teams. I guess we can't really break down this game until we discuss the ending there. So basically what happens is Notre Dame scores what they think is the go-ahead touchdown with about 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes left. 2:15 left. And they score the go-ahead touchdown. Field goal kicker comes out for the extra point. Holder fumbles the snap.
Crucial.
They end up not getting the extra point, so now Notre Dame's up 6, and a touchdown and an extra point from A&M wins it. A&M drives all the way down the field. Couple penalties, continue a drive. Holding call keeps A&M in it. They get to 1st and goal. Notre Dame stops them at 1st and goal 3 times in a row. So now we're 4th and goal from the 10-yard line. And A&M, Marcel Reed.
Yeah,
Marcel Reed takes the snap, steps to the left a little bit. A&M definitely gets away with a hold on the left guard because the left guard absolutely tackles a defensive tackle coming through.
You gotta love it, man.
And Marcel Reed pump fakes once, steps left again, hits the big tight end up that's bodied up against a corner or maybe a nickel, either one. In the end zone, ends up bringing it down. A&M makes the go-ahead extra point, and that's basically where it ends, man. A&M wins 41-40, and just a absolute heartbreaker for Notre Dame and South Bend.
But I mean, when you look at it, the second quarter for A&M was explosive. They scored 21 points in the second quarter. That was an extremely explosive quarter for A&M.
Yeah,
and I like Marcel Reed. I believe in his growth, and he's not throwing picks like he was. He doesn't seem too pressured in the pocket anymore. I believe he's a great talent. Along with, they got like a committee of running backs because Moss starts, but Ruben Owens comes in, and even the third guy comes in every now. So you really don't know who's going to be in the backfield any given play. And I'm a fan of Ruben Owens just because he comes from my town, but I also believe that Moss is he's an every down back.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have any issues. At least running the ball,
Yeah.
and then the way Marcel Reed is able to supplement the run game, and really where I was surprised is how much success A&M had on the intermediate passing game. A lot of
They
10, 15-yard routes that they were able to just pick up and just drive the ball down the field on Notre Dame, which I didn't
Northern
see.
they had 12 penalties for 95 yards. Northern Dame did. So I mean, again, you're just giving another a team that can beat you, that will beat themselves probably before they beat you, but you give them 95 yards and 12 penalties, and Ruben Owen runs for 105 yards. I mean, what can you do?
Yeah, it's one of those things. Is Notre Dame looked like they were going to close them out early. A&M just stayed with it, continued to score points, continued to
Hard.
battle, continued to fight, and eventually was just able to take down Notre Dame. Now, looking forward for both of these teams, A&M obviously 3-0, big win on the road, contender in the SEC, contender in the college football playoff. The bigger question mark for me comes to Notre Dame. Now 0-2 on the season, lost both their games to a good Miami team and a good A&M team.
Yes.
How do you feel that they go moving forward as their best possible outcome is 10-2 here? If they win out the rest of their games.
Well, they have to.
Which is good to, I mean, easy possible for them to do, as they don't have that difficult of a schedule remaining. However, the question comes, well, if you lost your only two quality opponents or only two ranked opponents until this week, A&M, USC is now ranked right behind Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
So they have USC on the schedule, so they do have possibly one more ranked opponent to play. But if you lose to both your two quality opponents you face, is that a potential recipe for you to make the playoff?
I mean, I don't really understand how they pick. So if I'm thinking about how they pick, they shouldn't get in. My question for them every year is, who do they play?
Yeah.
That's my number one question. Who did they play this year?
Well,
Not
and
questioning the people that they played. It's just like you never know who they're going to play.
yeah. Well, I think
So
it also, taking that point into consideration, is the committee, just for everybody to note, the committee added in a criteria of strength of record this year. So they're continuing how an average top 25 team would play against your schedule. Now, with Notre Dame having two losses to top 25 teams, I looked it up after week 3. They're currently sitting at 126th in strength of record after 3 weeks.
I'm going to say that their college football playoffs hopes and dreams are probably gone, and I don't want to be that guy because I'm very optimistic, but I understand the thing that's been played, so I think they're gone.
Yeah.
Because I can't see who else could be in the running to get that certain spot, and we'd be like Northern Dame.
Well, my thing is, everybody's looking at it from compared to last year, right? So last year you had those 3 SEC teams. You had South Carolina at 9-3, Alabama at 9-3, and Ole Miss at 9-3, just on the outside of the playoff. And how would a 10-2 Notre Dame compare to those teams? Where, assuming at 9-3, they're going to have some quality wins on their schedule, whereas Notre Dame will not at 10-2, outside of a potential USC.
Yeah. Because in the SEC, we play, per se, a harder. Everybody we play is somewhat.
If you're making it 9-3 through the SEC, you beat somebody good.
Yeah, Power 5. We definitely beat someone of rank and worthiness. Yeah. Like that's why interesting is Vanderbilt at the bottom of the SEC now, because they're top 20, and I have faith. I have faith in their quarterback now. I don't have faith in like their defense and structurally sounding, winning deep, intense games, because I don't believe the quarterback is. He's not king for Georgia Tech, but he is great, and I do believe
Pavi is good.
Just like when if Vanderbilt went out there and talking about Tennessee at the end of the season, them trying to make it, and I would not be surprised if Vanderbilt beat Tennessee. I'd be surprised if they beat Georgia. So A&M, I still believe that, I think there's it's rough, it's tough, because Vanderbilt came out of nowhere. If we're talking about SEC play, And I don't know. I'm looking at A&M schedule as well, and it's not easy. It's not easy, but A&M won the games that they need to win this year. That's the thing, and that they were capable of winning. Last year they blew games that they are capable of winning, and they shot themselves in the foot. But
They
so
played a
far
nail
this
biter
year,
against Notre Dame last year, and Notre Dame ended up coming up on top.
now the thing next week is if they beat Auburn, which I believe has a great team. I believe
Well,
Auburn has a really good team.
Well, OU's got Auburn next week.
Oh, my bad, jumping ahead of schedule. But
Yeah, they I think they got a bye, possibly. A&M does. And then they got Auburn.
okay, yeah, okay, I see it.
Yeah. Yeah, it should
Missouri,
be A&M bye week, and then they got to play Auburn.
and as long as Sellers is hurt, there is no South Carolina.
No, that they made that very clear in the game against Vandy. If
Yeah.
if Sellers is gone, they're done.
Yeah, there is no South Carolina, so you don't really have to worry about them.
All right, so let's go ahead and roll on to game 3 here. LSU ended up getting the win over Florida, 20-10 in Baton Rouge. Biggest stat line of this one, the one that's always going to jump out to everybody, is DJ Lagway, who a lot of people had as a preseason Heisman favorite, threw 5 interceptions in this game. One was a pick six. A&M's or LSU's offense didn't really make Florida pay for a lot of the mistakes that Florida made. But I think that just part of that is I think Florida's got a really gritty defense. But yeah, Brian Kelly commented on in his post game. He said, well, we were playing winning football. We didn't want to play. It's like, well, winning a football game is also a lot easier if your offense is scoring points every time they get a short field or something along those lines from a turnover. But hey, each his own, I guess. There. What about you? Did you take anything from this one?
Listen, I got a very good buddy who's an LSU fan, and my biggest take is, like I say, you got 5 turnovers, and you only capitalized because your DB took it back for 6. Other than that, I don't know. Florida was their worst enemy, and I understand DJ Lagway got hurt, and then he came back. I get everything, but I don't know. I don't know what's wrong over there. And I like Florida. I just don't know what's wrong, and I don't feel like it's all DJ Lagway by any means.
I think their problems go deeper than DJ Lagway, but I mean, my biggest thing is kind of what me and Monty have talked about all year. Is I think DJ Lagway, if he was going to make an improvement from last year to this year, he needed to play spring ball. He missed all of spring ball with an injury. He needed to play fall camp. He missed most of fall camp with an injury. So he's coming into the season. They're like, yeah, he's ready to go for the season.
He's ready to go. Yeah.
But he didn't get the reps that he needed to improve over the offseason. If anything, he's more rusty than he was coming off of the end of last year.
I mean, I look at him, and then you remember that he got hurt and that he's just coming back from being hurt after missing an enormous amount. Because remember last year before he got hurt, he was dinking and dunking everybody across the field. Florida had their offensive problems. Well, I mean, Florida shoots herself in the foot as well. Talk about penalties. They're penalty after penalty after penalty, and you just get tired of watching it because it's just like, what are y'all doing? Multiple touchdowns. What was it? 2 touchdowns that game that got called back over penalties?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah. They had
you shoot yourself in the foot.
It was like, one of them was long, too. It was like an 87-yard.
There's a bomb.
Yeah,
bomb. And like DJ Lagway, he was sitting there, I don't know. I wish the best for him because I have nothing but faith in him.
Yeah. We'll see if Florida, especially with their brutal schedule, man, if they're going to be able to. The thing is, they got to win enough games for Billy Napier to keep his job, or else you're looking at that whole program almost hitting a restart button again. And my biggest thing is LSU is the number 3 team in the country, or at least in the AP poll, and which we discussed last week. I have some discrepancies with the AP poll. We're adjusting it this week. I believe we are. I'm going to do a kind of like a collective poll of a lot of people that I think are people who know college football, who watch every game, who deep dive in it. So a lot of the big analysis. They do all their own, but they're not AP voters. So I'll take all their top 25s and I'll do a collective one. See what that kind of looks like, because I think that's probably a better representation of what a true top 25 looks like for college football right now. Now LSU, question marks on how they're able to move the football, especially for the number 3 team. Whenever you get gifted 5 turnovers and you're only able to put up 20 points, that raises some question marks for me. That raises some potential issues. I know, like I said, Brian Kelly, he didn't want to address it after the game. He said, we just played winning football. However, I think the question marks are legitimate, especially when you consider that Florida had the ball for 37 minutes compared to LSU's 22. They put up more yards than LSU, and they had over double the amount of first downs that LSU had.
Man, I mean, I guess that just, they were winning statistically, but, numbers don't mean anything, I guess, because you've turned the ball over 5 times.
Yeah, that's
So
exactly it. That's
Florida's, so
you can't win a football game doing that.
You can't win that. And then I look at Garrett's numbers. He was 18 for 28, 220, 1 touchdown. And then, they looked good. Rushed for 120. 14, Caden Durham, 14 carries for 85 yards, 1 touchdown. But it's like you got these numbers and they gave you the ball 5 extra times.
And that's all you're able to put up. Now, granted, I understand if you get the ball off 5 turnovers, you might not have as many yards because you're working with shorter fields, so you just don't.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, you need to have the points to reflect that, right? So what you lack in yards, you should have in points, and that's just not the case when you're looking at LSU here.
I think the winners are Florida's defense. I think they're the true winners.
I think they play. Yeah, I think they played. Florida's defense played great, kept them in the game. I think they're going to keep them in a lot of the games that they have to play here. And if DJ Lagway can kind of get that rust off from not being able to play in the season, I think Florida might be a tougher matchup later in the year. It's just whether or not Billy Napier can keep his job long enough to get them to that point. To where DJ Lagway's playing better, playing up to what his potential was at the beginning of this year. I just think him missing all that practice reps, I think that's what you're seeing in the struggles that Florida's having, especially at the quarterback position there.
And I believe LSU, like you said, LSU has a very intense schedule. Like this next week is probably their last week of quote unquote comfort, especially if Sellers comes back. So they have a number 3 offense. Number 3 team's going to have to put up number 3 offense numbers for me personally.
Yeah, they got a lot of teams on the schedule that look like they're playing a lot better ball than what they were preseason rated for.
Yeah.
Alabama looks good. A&M looks good. Vandy looks really good. OU looks good. So there'll be a lot of games that you may have checked off as like, LSU can handle them. But starting to bring some question marks into it.
There's the questions because, Texas A&M is out there fighting for their life. Vandy's out here trying to knock people's doors down. And Alabama's like letting y'all like, hey, don't forget about us.
Don't forget about us. Don't forget about us.
Don't forget about us. So
let's go ahead and roll on to the last game. That was on the rundown there. Number 5, Miami hosted, I believe, number 18, University of South Florida. Alex Golish. And this one, as much as I hate to rub Monty's face in it, this one I predicted correctly. He wanted to ride the magic with Alex Golish. I don't blame him. I don't think the magic is over. I just think Miami was too much for him on the lines. They dominated USF on the offensive defensive line pretty much the entire game. And Carson Beck played Carson Beck football. It's not gonna blow you away, but it is gonna be more than adequate enough to have you win football games as long as you got the pieces around him to make the plays, right?
I like Carson Beck.
Miami ended up winning this game 49-12, which is pretty significant, especially when you consider this USF team just beat Florida last week. Which may bring more question marks about Florida than it does Miami. But I think this is a good point in solidifying Miami after they beat Notre Dame week 1 and then able to come back here, beat a ranked South Florida. Great start to the season for Miami, and I think they definitely going to be one of the heavy hitters, or probably the heavy hitter in the ACC right now.
I mean, technically, They always said that the U was going to come back, and I have faith in the U coming back. I just didn't know when. And I ain't saying they're going all the way to the thing, but I like Miami popping up on the scene, just fighting people. I really do, just beating people up. But I like Carson Beck. I was kind of sad when I heard that he was going to Georgia because I was like, well, what's that going to do? But then he went to Miami, and I was like, well, they're going to try to make a play. They're going to make a playoff run if he goes there. That's their whole goal.
That's their whole goal.
They're pushing the playoffs. This is no building thing. This is no, it's now.
Oh, yeah, it's this team this year.
It's now. So, hey, go ahead. The U, I like it. I like the energy. I like how they don't really care who you are. They're going to put as many points up as they can. And I like that attitude. It doesn't matter. And USF, I like them as a team. You can't just be like USF is coming. It's an easy win because they'll come over there and they'll knock your head off. They've done it year after year after year. Like for the past 3 or 4 years, you can't really go to sleep on them.
Yeah, since Alex Golesh has taken over there, they've been a pretty solid AAC team. So
yeah.
The thing is with Miami, dude, they continue to, because everybody has the question marks, right? Because that's always been a thing since the early 2000s, since Miami kind of faded away. Everybody's like, oh, Miami's back this year, they're back this year. Then they just kind of fall apart on us. This team, I'm impressed with the way they consistently answered the bell, right? They consistently answered the call. They got another test this week with Florida and that defense that we just talked about, playing solidly. They're coming to town. So
in-state rivalry, baby.
In-state rivalry, it'll another good test for this Miami team to continue to prove themselves, which they continue to answer the call, at least so far this season. So
I mean, I like Miami, but after Florida State, Florida, when they play Florida, I hope Florida doesn't poke any holes in their game. I hope that Miami continues to play at the level that they're playing at, and I hope Florida doesn't give them 5 takeaways because then it's really going to be a blowout. But I can't wait for them to play Florida State. That's who I'm ready to see, Miami versus Florida State.
Yeah, I think everybody's got that one circled right now.
That I'm ready to see because, like I said, Miami popped on the scene, but you know who really popped on the scene? Florida State. They came out in first game and told them Nick Saban ain't there to save them no more, and they showed them, and then they just keep rolling.
Yeah, and I expect both teams to be undefeated going into that one. So, I mean, just going to be a absolute bruiser of a top 10 matchup with Miami and Florida State there. So that one's definitely a good one to look forward to. I think USF, everything's still in front of them as far as being like the group of 5 contender. I don't think anybody's going to hold loss too much against a group of 5 team, especially when it comes to like a top 5 team in Miami. So everything's still in front of them that they kind of want to achieve there. But overall, just a solid performance by Miami. They continue to answer the bell, continue to answer the call, and continue to look like the ACC favorite, at least as of week 3. So still a lot of time for stuff to change there.
I mean, right now it's college football is not that very long. Like you wait all year for it, then it comes by in like the blink of an eye. We're already in week 4, and teams are trying to solidify themselves. Like, hey, we're here. We're close. We're knocking on the door, or we stumbled, but we're coming back. It's a fight, and you have those only certain games to prove who you are.
Yeah, you have a very limited amount, and the sample size is very small, right?
And that's for every team.
12 games is not a lot. Heck, I mean, we look at it, and we're going to be actually right now we're a quarter of the way through the season.
You know what I mean? So you think about it,
25% home, right? So, we still got another 3/4 to go, but
I mean, if you think about the ACC is actually, they're actually a really tough conference right now. North Carolina State.
Good football.
North Carolina State is still technically 3-0, one in the conference. You haven't talked about Stanford in years, so you don't really have to worry about a lot. But again, you still got Florida State. SMU. You still got North Carolina. SMU. I mean, it was, I watched SMU game against 2 weeks ago. I watched their game and I just didn't understand. I I didn't understand how they blew that. I just can't. I can't physically map my mind around what I witnessed and how they blew it. It's like I don't know. So if you're making blunders like that, I understand it's the beginning of the season, but those blunders are big. That's like a confidence killer. But good thing it's happened the first game of the season. It's like, well, at least it happened at this point. We can grow on it. But that's
still time to recover, still time to work through it, right?
yeah, because their quarterback is, I believe, he's very dynamic. I think they have a good team. Now, I mean, are we going to say that they're a better team than when they made it to the college playoff? I'm not going to say they deserve to be there anyway, but that's back in the day. So I don't know. I love college football because you never really know, and I love how they gave us the premise now of 12 teams.
Yeah, it's a lot because it gives you a lot of teams to debate. I think you look at it in a year and you're like, okay, we know who like the top 2 teams are, the top 3 teams are.
Top 3, 4, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty easy to establish. When you start getting down to those 7, 8s, through 15s, it gets really kind of get a mixed bag, and it really depends on who's playing the better football at that point of the year.
Because you got somebody that could beat the number 12 team in the beginning of the year and then have no other chance to play somebody else to get them more votes to get back up into 12, 13, 14.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Interesting.
It's interesting how it works.
So, anything else for the week 3 recap there, Dayday?
No, I hope week 4 is better, brother.
Hope week 4 is better. Well, we got some good ones on the slate, and we'll be back. We'll drop an episode a little later this week. I believe Dayday is going to be joining us as well for that one, just because of Monty's scheduling conflicts. So he'll be back again, and we'll be sure to preview week 4 for y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this week 3 recap. As always, like and subscribe to the show. Tell your friends about it, man. That's usually one of the best ways to spread, especially a small podcast like this. We thank y'all for tuning in. Until next time, we'll catch y'all. Peace.